Hello, everybody, and every fellow reseller out there. Thanks for stopping by and taking time out of your day to join Nicole and I. Nicole, aka Statesplace. We were talking a little bit last week about starting our own show, more about topics of reselling or for advanced eBayers or advanced reselling, because there's only so many times you can go over how you store your inventory or how you list items or your process. So we really wanted to get in the thick of things and taking your business, your eBay business, from maybe a smaller level up to maybe doing $100,000 a year in sales or more. So right now, what we're gonna do is kind of just introduce ourselves. Most of you guys that are in the live chat probably already know who we are, but for future people that may be watching this video, we just want to go over who we are, what we do, what we sell, maybe some of our numbers that we did last year, and just go over the format of what the show will be, and then also open up the floor to you guys to actually name the show and give us topics that you might want to talk about. So I'm going to leave it or hand over to Nicole to go over who she is.
Hey guys. Well, first off, I just want to say thank you to Josh. He thought of this and invited me to do this with him, and I'm super, super excited about it. A lot of the time, you get asked the same questions over and over again in these shows. You know, how do you wash your items? How do you store your items? What do you buy? How do you sell things? And we're going to just skip over all those questions, and we're going to be focusing really on the harder stuff, you know, growing your business, the struggles. Maybe when there's seller updates, we'll really talk about those and talk about what they mean, things like that. And then it's also going to be a daytime show, which I'm excited about, because when you are a full-time reseller, a lot of time during the day, you're just sitting at a computer, working on your desk. There's a lot of shows to watch at night. And so this will be a fun show for
Sorry about that, guys. I think the chat froze. So yeah, as Nicole was saying, she might shoot me a text right now. I'm not sure what's going on. So she might end up shooting me a text. So I might have to figure that out. But yeah, as she was saying, we're essentially going to be going over advanced reselling topics. So maybe about Cassini, which is eBay's search engine, what keywords you will work well, maybe the ins and outs of everything that gets your listings placed a lot higher. So again, I want to introduce myself. My name is Josh. I'm better known as in the social media world as Vogue Squared. And last January of 2016, I went full-time reselling. I ended up dropping out of my grad school at Michigan State University, where I was doing my MBA, Master's in Business. My focus was going to be on supply chain and marketing. I was going to dual major. I got a little frustrated with how they were running things there. Essentially, I get where they were coming from, where they were essentially teaching you how to work for a large corporation. And that's not something I ever wanted to do. Right out of college, I worked for a tech startup. So I was hitting the ground running kind of on small businesses and kind of the inner workings. Like when you work for a startup, you're essentially wear many hats within the company. So you get your hands dirty in every single aspect. Whereas if you're working for a large corporation, you probably are only going to become an expert on that one area or one niche that your manager tells you that you're going to be working on. So dropped out last January. 2 days later, opened up my own LLC and have been selling ever since. So that last year I went full time, but I've been doing this actually part time since I was 17 years old. Paid my way through college. So I was able to graduate undergrad debt-free between the eBay money and my athletic scholarship where I ran track and field for Michigan State. And I ended up doing roughly about $250,000 in overall sales. That's gross sales. That's not profit, between eBay, Amazon, Etsy, and a few other websites. So I look forward to continuing this journey and this show with everyone, especially the full-time reselling community. I think it's going to be quite helpful for everybody involved, not only for Nicole and I, but hopefully for you guys too. So I'm going to hand it over to Nicole. So I think her video chat's working now. So
sorry about that. I honestly have no idea what happened. All of a sudden, everything was just gone, which is kind of, something that happens. And I think a lot of times I want to also focus on like some of the harder things that happen. Like being a full-time reseller can be super frustrating sometimes. And we always try and be super positive and like everything is going good, but sometimes days just aren't going good. And that's something I want to talk about too on this show is the struggles as a full-time reseller, because everybody has them, finding product, getting it listed, hiring employees, firing employees, finding new employees, it's just, there's a lot to this business other than just going shopping and listing it on eBay and hoping that it sells, So anyway, yeah, I'm Nicole State and I've been reselling full-time for about 1.5 years. But I've been reselling before that forever. I used to run a children's consignment store, and that's kind of where I learned the ropes of reselling. And my first year in sales, I did just over 100,000, mostly by myself. Joe kind of helped me in the end, but most of it was on my own. And then this year, I should be on track to do about $250,000 in sales if I keep on this path that I'm on right now. It's so funny. Everyone's struggles. What struggles? All the struggles, you guys.
Yeah, no kidding. There's always going to be struggles in this business, and it's going to be fun to go over them together.
And I think that we're kind of at the same place. Like right now, one of my biggest struggles is finding employees and hiring them and training them and not going broke by having employees, because you have to have a certain amount of capital saved up. Because when you first hire employees, I feel like you're not making any extra money from these employees. You're just paying them to train them,
Yeah, I fully agree with that. You're essentially replacing your time with money by hiring employees. So you value your time at a certain number, and so at some point when you get large, you're looking at exporting those menial tasks, which would allow you to. I mean, I guess maybe beginning. You're not making extra money by having those employees, but with that extra time, you can start focusing maybe on your social media if you need that, because that can be a good marketing idea for your own business. But it also allows you to source a little more. So like, I guess with me, when I had my assistants who had now left, one had a personal problem, the other one it didn't work out. So I'm back alone again, and I need to start looking for a new employee because I dropped my sourcing down. So when I had my employees, I was able to source like 4 times a week, and now I'm only doing it 1 or 2 times a week. So at some point at the beginning, yeah, you're probably going to be losing a little money or breaking even by having an employee, but I think in the long run, it will help grow your business exponentially.
Yeah, at some point you hit a wall, and it's like you either flatline or you hire people. I was listening to Craigslist Hunter, who hopefully maybe one day we can get to come on the show and talk to us too, because if you want to talk about like expert on reselling, he's definitely one of those guys. And I was listening to him last night, and he's talking about how people ask, like, can you make this amount of money alone by yourself? Or are you making this amount of money because you have people? And he says, no, you flatline. Like, you can't do this all on your own. And so if you want to grow your business, you have to have help.
Yep, fully agree with that. So again, like we said, this channel, we're gonna probably, it might switch back and forth Tuesdays and Thursdays depending on both of our schedules. But we want to make it a weekly thing. We still need to talk about time. It could be, I don't know if we want to set a time or not yet. Just, I like being a little more flexible because stuff comes up in this business, and if you have to worry about a set time, then you might, some other stuff might fall through the cracks. So, but we want to do Tuesdays and Thursdays. I want to go over, so we're going to run a contest actually, because Nicole and I were talking about how terrible we are coming up with names for things. So we want to open the floor to you guys and run a contest where the winner will get one $25 Starbucks gift certificate and then one $25 Goodwill gift card. So with that, you guys will email me. My email is down below. It's voguesquared1@gmail.com. Your topics, or no, let's start with the name of the show. You can incorporate the word Tuesday or Thursday into it. So if you come up with a few names, we can do that. Think about more about advanced reselling names. So maybe, I mean, it could be anything really. We're open to anything, and then we will pick a winner Monday night after all the submissions. So next Monday, what is that? The 17th, I believe. Have all your submissions in by 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then I'll say that we'll have a winner announced either on, or we'll announce our winner actually when we do our first show, when you see the name of it. And then also when you're submitting that name, try to come up with 3 topics that you might want Nicole and I to talk about. It could be anything. It can be about different platforms. It doesn't have to stick to eBay. Nicole and I know the most about eBay between us. I wouldn't say we know the most about eBay overall. But
eBay, it can be like, I mean, it can be about anything. I ran a brick and mortar store for 8 years. So, I mean, I have knowledge basically in almost all realms of reselling. I'm actually going back to the store tomorrow to work a shift for them because they need someone to cover, and I'm always around. So, I mean, we can literally talk about anything reseller related. Both of us, between the two of us, I feel like the knowledge is there, you know?
Yeah, definitely. That's funny that you're going back to work for your old store. One of my old friends actually just reached out to me. We're old coworkers, and he's in the Army. He's on reserve duty, so he'll be gone for like 30 days in the summer, and they need someone in their office for like 2 days a week. So they asked me, and I was like, what do I have to do? Just sit there and kind of just look over the interns that are running everything. And so what I'll do is get paid through them, and then I'll get paid by listing on eBay too.
Yeah, they're like family to me. So they have something, they have like an important thing to do tomorrow, and they just lost their employees. Even at brick and mortar stores, it's so hard to find good employees. And so they asked if I would just come in and hang out. And I'm always willing to do that. It's fun to go in there, and like, I miss it sometimes. I miss like the human interaction that I used to have every day, but I don't miss running a brick and mortar store. It was rough.
Yeah, I can only.
So yeah, I think that the questions here are like, is there keywords you want in the title? No, I think that it's completely open. You guys come up with whatever you think is cool or good. And then we'll just pick one that we think we like.
Yep. So if you guys have any, we're going to kind of make this short. We just wanted to do an introduction on our ideas, who we are, and how often the show is going to be happening each week. So if you guys have any questions that you might have, we'll be on for another about 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be back to listing on eBay and making that money. So again, ask a few questions. We'll be on for another 5 minutes. Thanks for stopping by, everyone.
You're so professional.
Gotta be a little, gotta clean up my act a little bit after some of the stuff that happened last week.
Oh, whatever. It's a free YouTube channel. No. So children and baby clothes at the bins and money with that. That's a good question. And that's definitely like a whole show that we could talk about, is children's and consignment and all of that. And Josh might not know a lot about that, but I do. And Josh might want to learn a little bit about that because there's definitely money to be made in kid stuff. And most of the time it's so inexpensive and no one else is looking at it that yesterday on Instagram, someone picked up a pair of kid shoes and they are selling for $100, you know?
I cannot imagine paying $100 for kids' shoes that they're going to get rid of in about a month or two or grow out of. It's crazy.
I've done it. When you're a parent, you can justify spending money on your kid more than you can justify spending money on yourself. So parents will pay crazy money for things and they don't feel bad about it because it's for their kid, you know?
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, to give a little bit more background, Nicole mainly sells women's clothing. I know she's branching out into men's, and again, she sells baby clothing. And then I mainly, and by mainly, I'd say like 95% of my inventory is men's clothing. So I mostly talk about men's clothing. I know the most about men's clothing, but again, this is why I started the show, so I could branch out into other areas and aspects and learn about eBay, about stuff that I may not have known about. Like I didn't even know eBay's search engine was called Cassini, honestly. So
that's so crazy to me. Yeah, we got to talk about like SEO stuff and we got to talk about like the back end stuff, because it's one thing to put your listings up and hope they sell, and it's another thing to do the back end work and get your listings to sell. Like there's a reason I have such a high percentage like sell-through rate, and it's because I do a lot of back end work. You know, I don't just put my listings up and then hope they sell one day. There's a lot of stuff you can do to help your listings move.
Yeah, and like I'm definitely not the expert on SEO. I don't even know what it stands for, or what I can even
Search engine optimization.
Okay. Yeah, so that, I mean, that'd be a good, I believe that might be a good first topic to go over to talk about, and I'll be able to brush up a little bit on it through hopefully some Google, and then talk to you a little bit about it on what I can do. Is that SEO?
We should definitely have an SEO show, because I don't think anybody, I think probably 95% of the people who list on eBay are not optimizing their listings and their back end stuff to get good search results on like Google and placement in Cassini and stuff.
So quick question on that, actually. I want to, like, is it just, so SEO, you're not really, is it just the keywords that you're using and stuff?
Yes and no. I mean, everything about your listing can be optimized to make sure that Google is picking it up correctly. And not just that, but your store as well. So if you have a storefront, you should be doing quite a few things to make sure that you have, even like your introduction of your store should be formulated correctly so that Google picks up different keywords. Does that make sense? So a lot of people will just leave their store. You have a storefront and you can write a little bio about yourself. They might write a bio about themselves, but what you should be doing is using keywords in that bio to get results through Google.
Okay, yeah. So without knowing what SEO was, I was still doing that. Then I probably need to brush up a little bit on my store stuff. But yeah, I do remember when I first opened up my store, I Googled like how to like get more traffic into it. And it's like, yeah, explain basically exactly what you're selling in your store for the most part. And then just, yeah, use those hot words like vintage, maybe vintage men's clothing, Ralph Lauren, like use brand names and stuff that you mostly sell.
Yeah. And then also I want to talk a lot about charts and graphs and how you should be using those to your advantage. You know, like eBay gives us all these tools and nobody uses them. So you can pull a lot of data about your store, and from that data, you can learn You know, when is a good time to be listing? How often should I be listing? What should I be selling? You know, like they send out emails and they say, hey, these are brands that are selling. These are styles that are selling. And you should be using them. You know, don't just put them in your trash can and walk away.
Yeah, definitely. That's something I need to go over a little bit more too. Again, these will all be topics that we talk about in future episodes. So I just want to wrap it up again. So please enter that contest. And again, email me at voguesquared1@gmail.com. So at least one name for the show. And then hopefully you guys can come up with 3 topics, future topics that you guys might want to talk about. So again, thank you everybody for coming out and learning about what our new show is going to be. And happy reselling. Have a good, wonderful day, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Bye.